Good morning, aspirants. It's 17th of November today, and I welcome you all on today's edition of What to Read in the Hindu newspaper. I'm 𝗗𝗶𝗹𝘆 𝗡𝗲, senior mentor at Prepp IAS. While going through the articles, we will not only see its relevance with regard to prelims and mains, but we'll also try and interlink it with other GS papers as well. I am here to align your newspaper reading as a part of our GS syllabus. So let's get started. The very first article that is worth our attention in today's paper talks about NIA arrest aide of suicide bomber in Red Fort blast case. Now, when we map this particular article in our syllabus, this will fall under GS Paper 3 Internal Security, Terrorism, Role of Agencies such as NIA. We need to know about it. When was it formed? By which act? Whether it's a constitutional body, statutory body, or executive body. How does it work? For prelims perspective, knowing about UAPA Act, basic security architecture in India, the key theme that has been discussed in this particular article primarily talks about India's first car-bomb suicide attack in Delhi. NIA is trying to expand its jurisdiction and interstate terror network that we have seen in the recent past, which is growing. What actions has been taken so far with regard to it? Also, we can show several evaluation in terror tactics, wherein vehicle-based individual person who act as who act as a sleeper cell at times, doing these sort of terror activities. Afterwards, NIA state police cooperation is another angle that we can explore for mains perspective. Kashmir militancy linkages can also be linked, as we have found several evidences in this regard. Afterwards, we need to know the gaps in urban counter-terrorism surveillance for the same. So this is how this particular article is to be holistically seen, read and revised, not only what has been discussed over here, but covering several peripheral areas as well. Moving on, the next important article that is there in the paper and is on editorials page, which talks about too little, much later. Simply, this is about digital personal data protection. Also, this particular article has been explained today in text and context page as well. So let's just go through it quickly and how it is to be seen. Relevant again for GS Paper 2 Governance, RTI Act, Data Protection Act. For GS Paper 3, the themes that can be revised while going through this particular article and can be linked is about what is cyber security, digital governance, digital infrastructure that we have developed. For prelims, we need to know about what is DPDR, RTI exemptions, data fiduciaries. The key theme that has been talked about this particular article is DP rules delay its critical protection to 2027, weaken transparency in building RTI rules, and concentration of power. That is much a debatable topic of this particular topic. Also, this could be a major governance and privacy questions that could be asked for mains perspective as well. Other arenas that we have to explore while going through this particular article is about institutional designs with regard to it. For instance, DPBI under MeToo that lacks independence. Also, Supreme Court judgment with regard to it, such as privacy versus fundamental right. You got to tell me which article it was highlighted as a fundamental right. Also, the governance lesson that we can draw while going through this particular article. And this is how it is to be seen holistically. The next important article is about Delhi's air pollution, a wicked problem in need of bold solutions. Every year, we come across a lot of articles. Not only this month, but the entire upcoming months as well will comprise one or the other in a form of Delhi's air pollution issue. But when we map this particular article in our syllabus, it is not a political commentary, either of center failure or state failure, but it needs a coordinated effort to get over this problem. This is relevant for GS Paper 3, Environment, Pollution, Urbanization problem, and also for essay governance with regard to environmental themes. The key theme that has been talked about this particular article is about Delhi's pollution as a wicked multi-sectoral problem that requires unified airshed management. Not only centers or states' responsibility it is to be keep an account for, but multi-sectoral solutions are to be designed. This is relevant when we see for our prelims perspective, not only the NCR policy coordination that needs a follow-up design, but also the political alignment of different bordering state for the same. It not only is a problem, but also offers a unique opportunity solution for the same, if uh, implemented in letter and spirit. Also, we can try to get the global best practices that has been adopted in cities like Los Angeles, Beijing, London, wherein the pollution problem in specific air pollution was very much widespread when they were being developed. So, what are the cues that we can take from them and try adopting them here in our Delhi? So, this is how this particular article is to be seen. The next relevant, important article for the day is about swing but do not miss. Relevant for GS paper 2 health welfare schemes. For prelims perspective, we need to know TB, the bacteria it causes, TB indicators, what is the policy design for the same, uh, what is the, now talking about the data perspective, the percentage of population that has this TB, also the account it causes for global TB population altogether, TB burden in India, and which year we have tried to eliminate it from our national health policy design, whether it's been missed or achieved, what are the progresses that has been made so far, state-wise allocation of data with the people suffering from them, what kind of schemes that we have developed for TB patients, also the nutritional challenge that we often see these people face, and rural diagnostic gaps that we are seeing, which is adding to the burden of rising TB cases in India. So this is how this particular article is to be seen. All the peripheral issues which is not being discussed in this particular article also is to be revised while going through this particular article. The next important article for the day is about POCSO Act is gender neutral by design. Relevant for GS paper 2 judiciary, polity, criminal laws. For prelims perspective, we got to know about POCSO Act with its statutory interpretation. For ethics perspective also, we can add this particular article as a dimension for it, talking about child protection. The key theme that has been discussed in this particular article primarily talks about Section 3 of POCSO Act allows gender neutral prosecution of both men and women. For other arenas such as mains, we can have a debate or a discussion based question wherein gender neutrality versus specificity, that too when we are seeing the rising misuse of POCSO Act against one specific gender, that is to be analyzed. Afterwards, potential trap that is being seen. So do we need to reduce the age for this same? Also link it with Juvenile Justice Act as well. What is the age bar in that act and compare it with POCSO Act as well. So this is how this particular article is to be seen. The next important article for the day is about the legal hoodwinking of Adivasis. Relevant for GS paper 2 governance and fundamental rights. Also relevant for GS paper 3 environment, forest right acts. For polity cases wherein Niyamgiri could be quoted as a case study for our essay and also ethics paper. The key theme that has been discussed in this particular article primarily talks about Chhattisgarh High Court upholds cancellation of Community Forest Right Act, ignoring FRA Act protections. For prelims perspective, we need to know the debate and discussions around FRA versus economic development. What is the role of Gram Sabha consent? Section 4(7), right of free encumbrances, administrative overreach, and judicial apathy that we see at in times of judicial tribal rights. So this is how this particular article is to be seen. The last important article for the day is about what are digital personal data protection rules. So it is relevant for GS paper 2, data governance, privacy versus fundamental right. Also relevant for GS paper 3, cyber security and digital economy. The key theme that has been discussed over here is about rules operationalize the DPDP Act, set up DPDP, but what defines data fiduciaries with heavy delays that we are seeing. Afterwards, other arenas that we can see, digital protection is equal to governance plus rights plus tech intersection. Is this structure that we have developed is enough for it or not? India's version versus GDPR comparisons of Europe, the key features with regard to it, for instance, notice period, purpose limitation, consent withdrawal, and its penalties. So this is how this particular article is to be seen. This is all from my end for today's Hindu newspaper. Till we meet for the next